The market appears to be in favor of the buyers, ladies and gentlemen, and I've got 10 comic books you're going to want to add to your collection. So go grab your vibe juice and let's talk about some hot comics. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of, Keep It Comics. As always, I am your humble host, C3, and I am back with another top 10 list and market update for you, the comic book community. There's a new list every week, so make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, so every time I drop fresh content, you guys will get that notification. At the list at number 10, we've got Something That's Killing the Children, issue number 16. And this is the origin of Eric Slaughter and first full appearance of Jessica. And after seeing this on the Netflix advertisement, I knew this book was going to blow up. And I had to check the specs on it. So let's talk numbers. The last recorded sale for this book was on February 24th of 2023, where raw copy sold for $4. This book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, with a 26.60% increase in copies that have sold so far. Now, the average price for a raw copy is $8, while the average price for a CGC 9.8 is $37. There's been 434 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 71 graded copies that have sold. That gives us a total of 505 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market so far. Now, there was a high sale back in September of 2021 where CGC 9.8 sold for $127. But fair market value has this book resting at $8 for a raw copy in near mint condition. And that lets me know that the market is definitely in favor of the buyer. And I'm going to keep my eye on this book to let you know if it continues to increase in value. Because you guys know I love sharing the most accurate and update information with you, the comic book community. Now, at the list at number 9, Hal Jordan said he held it down when nobody else did. Let's talk about Green Lantern, issue number 48, first appearance of Kyle Rayner, a high-ranking member from the Green Lantern Corps from Earth. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was on February 14th of 2023, where raw copies sold for $45. This book is trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, at 32.15% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a raw copy is $38. Average price for a graded copy is about $120. There's been 284 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 63 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 347 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in February of 2022, there was a high sale that took place for a CGC 9.8, and that book sold for $164. And fair market value has this book resting at $38 for a raw copy in very fine condition. Now, I was just at my LCS today, and I did not see this book in the shelves or in the back issue bins. So therefore, I will look for it on the secondary market. And I always like to share that friendly reminder with us, is that make sure we're checking in with our LCSs when we're looking for these books, all right? Because we want to support them. We want to make sure that they know that we still got love for them as we're looking for these keys to add to our collection. Now, at number 8 on the list, this book is definitely flying below the radar. And I'm talking about Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man, issue number 5. First appearance of Dream Spider. Last recorded sale for this book was on March 1st of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $3. This book currently has a 178% increase in copies that have sold, ladies and gentlemen. The average price for a raw copy right now is $3. There is no CGC information on this book right now because this is a new book. But I was able to find out that there was 98 raw copies of this particular book that has sold on the secondary market thus far. And back in February 24th of 2023, there was a high sale of $30 that took place. All right, so keep your eye out on this book because this book is definitely moving. And I know it's one that Spider fans are definitely going to want to add to their collection. So now, let's talk about number 7 on the list. This is strictly a cover buy for me, ladies and gentlemen. We got some classic artwork by Jim Steranko. And I'm talking about Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 6. Great story, great artwork, a must-have for your collection. Let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was on February 24th of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $75. This book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, at 33.69%. The average price for a raw copy is $13. The average price for graded 9.4 will run you roughly about $312. There has been 323 raw copies of this book that have sold and 33 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 356 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in December of 2022, there was a high sale for a CGC 9.8 that took place when this book sold for $4,080. And fair market value does have this book resting at $13 for a raw copy in very good condition. That price by itself proves to me that the market is definitely leaning in favor of the buyer. And with the average price at a 9.4, being at about $312 for a raw copy, you can't lose with that. So if you're in the market for Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., issue number 6, keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely on the move. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, at the list at number 6, we have Star Wars, The High Republic, Trail of Shadows, issue number 1. And this is the first appearance of Cian Halt and first cameo appearance of Bel Zidafar. And I have to shout out Jim Comics because it was him who put this on my radar and I've been reading it ever since. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was in February of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $4. This book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, at 39.64% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a raw copy right now is $6, and the average price for CGC 9.8 is about $49. There has been 210 raw copies that have sold, and there has been 10 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 220 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in 2022, there was a high sale that took place for a CGC 9.8 of $67 for this book. And fair market value has this book resting at $49 for a CGC graded copy that is in near mint condition. And if that's not priced in favor of the buyer, I don't know what is. And stay tuned, because at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to add a free comic book to your collection. Now, at the list at number 5, we've got Marvel Spotlight, issue number 3. Second appearance of Werewolf by Night, and the first time they ever mentioned the Darkhold. Let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was back in February 22nd of 2023, where a raw copy sold for $100. This book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, with a 38.35% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a raw copy right now is about $18. But the average price for graded CGC 8.5 will run you roughly about $250. Now, there has been 349 raw copies that have sold, but there's also been 37 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 386 copies of this particular book that has changed hands on the secondary market. Now, back in January of 2022, there was a high sale for a CGC 9.4 that sold for $780. But fair market value does have this book resting at $18 for a raw copy in very good condition. So keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely on the move. Now, at number 4 on the list, we have a book that I never thought would have made the list, but I'm glad it's up here. And I'm talking about Something Is Killing the Children, issue number 1, the 8th print. It's a reprint of the first appearance of Erica Slaughter and James. Remember when this book first came out? It was an absolute disaster. The comic book shops were supposed to allocate them to whoever bought this book for whatever reason. Man, I'm just surprised that it's on the list. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was back on February 24th, where a raw copy sold for how much? $10. Now, this book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, at a 47.90% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a raw copy right now is $12. The average price for a CGC 9.8 is $35, which is proof that given time, any book can climb on the secondary market. Now, There's been 826 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 210 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 1,036 copies of this magnificent piece of artwork that has transcended on the secondary market. Now, there was a high sell back in August of 2021 where CGC 9.8 sold for $252. But fair market value has this book resting at $12 for a raw copy in near mint condition. So keep in mind, if you are in the market for Something is Killing the Children, issue number 1, the 8th print, it's definitely on the move. All right, now, rounding down the list at number 3, it made the list for the 2nd week in a row. I'm talking about Vault of Spiders, issue number 1, first appearance of Spider-Bite, Web Slinger, and Savage Spider-Man. And this is that Marcos Martin variant cover. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was on February 27th, when a raw copy sold for $25. This book is also trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, with 20.33% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a raw copy right now is $19. This book is holding steady as a graded copy of a CGC 9.8 for $152. There's been 132 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 7 graded copies that have sold, giving us a total of 139 copies of this book that continues to change hands on the secondary market. Now, back in February 23rd, which was this month, just this past month, a CGC 9.8 sold for $153. And fair market value has this book resting at $19 for a raw copy in near mint condition. So with that type of price point buy-in, it's still considerably low. So the market is definitely in favor of the buyer pertaining to this particular book. All right, so if you are in the market for Vault of Spiders, issue number 1, keep your eye out on this book because it's definitely on the move. Now, at the list at number 2, we've got Avengers, issue number 11. First crossover between Spider-Man and the Avengers, and the second appearance of Kang the Conqueror. And I can tell you honestly, being a big Spider-Man fan and seeing as how Jonathan Major really played that Kang the Conqueror part, I'm definitely excited about this book and the numbers that it's doing on the secondary market. Last recorded sale was on February 27th, where a raw copy sold for $1,076. Now, this book is currently trending upward, ladies and gentlemen, with a 95.35% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a raw copy right now in low grade is about $297, while the average price for CGC 8.0 will run you roughly about $1,055. There has been 431 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 255 graded copies that have sold. Those numbers alone tell me that the market is definitely in favor of the buyer, or this book would not be moving the way it is. There was a high sell back in June of 2022 where a CGC 9.6 sold for $6,600. So, fair market value has this book resting at $297 for a raw copy in very good condition. And if you're in the market for the Avengers, issue number 11, now's the perfect opportunity to get your hands on this book because it's definitely on the move. Now, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you tell a community member about the channel that shares the most accurate and update information in the secondary market. Now, at the list at number 1 is the hottest comic book of the week. And I'm talking about Daredevil, Man Without Fear, issue number 4. First appearance of the Purple Man. So let's talk numbers. Last recorded sale for this book was on February 27th of 2023, where a raw copy of this book sold for $293. This title has a 142.33% increase in copies that have sold. Average price for a low-grade raw book right now is about $157. And the average price for a 4.0 graded book is $186. There has been 527 raw copies that have sold, and there's been 243 graded copies that have sold. Now, it makes me wonder, Is this book spiking because it's a first appearance or because it's an early copy? Either way, I guess it doesn't really matter. There was a high sale that took place back in March of 2017 where CGC 9.6 sold for $4,100. Now, fair market value has this book resting at $157 for a raw copy in very good condition. So, if you are in the market for Daredevil, Man Without Fear, issue number 4, first appearance of the Purple Man, keep your eye out on that book because it is definitely on the move. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I have given you your list. Be sure to be patient, execute wisely. Never jump out of the airplane without a parachute. And if you're interested in winning a free comic book, all you have to do is leave an encouraging comment in the comment section with the hashtag #KeepItComics. Be a subscriber to the channel, and that will automatically enter your name into the drawing to win a free comic book. All right? It's as simple as that. So I'm out of here like last year. But you know what I always say, don't hate, congratulate. Show some love, because that don't cost you nothing. Appreciate. But no matter what you do, ladies and gentlemen, when you see me, always keep it comics. I'll see you guys next video. Later, Gators. You know what it is.